Hi there, my name is Elaine and I'm here for Move Wellness, and we are doing part 4 of our 4-part series on Pilates basics today. It's a little different format. We're not doing it live on Facebook. We are recording this so that we can post it another time. We wanted to give you a well-rounded experience of what it is to move through some of the basics of Pilates, and we've had a different focus for each class. The first class was focused on breathing. The second class was focused on your abdominal connection. The third session was spinal movement or articulation. And this session is focused on strength, and they are layering the principles of Pilates in each session. So I'll use some terms that I used in prior sessions so you can go back and look at those. You can find them on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel for Move Wellness. So the other piece of information, two more. One is we did a introduction to Pilates a while back that might be helpful to watch first. It gives you a little bit of the context of what Pilates is, and then also a little bit of what to expect in a Pilates class, which I think is really helpful. Please don't move unless you have your doctor's permission, and don't do anything that hurts. Please, if you're uncomfortable at all, stop. If you have questions or feedback for us, reach out to us anytime at office@movewellness.com, and you can also leave us comments both on Facebook and on YouTube. So I hope you enjoy this session, and for me, I will say that in starting this session on strength today, creating an embodied strength, understanding your own unique structure and function, what you love to do in the world, connecting to breathing and building strength in this body that sustains us is a healing act. And not only healing yourself, but taking that strength and bringing it out into the world. And so for me, that is part of why I teach movement, why I teach Pilates and gyrotonic and the other systems that we have at our studio, but really moving your body in a way that can build real strength for you to do the work of life. So we're going to start today by doing just a little bit of breathing. We'll sit upright. You can sit on a chair, you can sit on the floor, wherever you're comfortable here. Let's take a couple of breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and settle into gravity wherever you are. So please just close your eyes if you can, and if you get dizzy, you can also just soften your vision and let your eyes tilt down. And inhale, feeling the expansion in the trunk, and exhale, just letting the air float out. First, you just notice. Inhale. Try to inhale through the nose, feeling the width of the rib cage as you inhale, and then exhale. Just let the ribs close. And inhale. Sending the breath into the sides and back of your body, and exhale. Just close. Inhale. And exhale. And while you're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, try to release your body into gravity. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the mat. Find a nice upright spine. And just notice what's happening inside your body. Maybe your mind is racing. Just bring it to the sensation of the breath for a moment, and the sensations in your body. And then with that nice connection to a calm, easy breath, let's open our eyes and do some arm circles. We will just get your shoulder blades gliding a little bit here. And you can go slow and keep a really yawning quality to this movement. Or if it feels like you want to just start moving, you can have a little more zip to your movement and then do it in both directions. Try to take up as much space as possible as you reach and reach and reach and reach. Reach and reach. Reach and rest your arms in front. Imagine they're resting on top of the water, floating, and just glide your shoulder blades back and forth. We're doing a little bit of a warm-up. I've done these exercises in other sessions, so if you don't know these movements, you can go back and take a look at those, but just glide your shoulder blades. Enjoy moving today. And then let your arms rest right down by your side. We're going to stretch the side body. Inhale up, exhale over to one side. Let your hip reach away from your fingertips, shoulder melts down your back. Breathe into the side body and come up and over. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale, exhale. Yawn the ribs open, so you're spreading the ribs as you lean up and over. Should feel kind of nice wherever you are. If you're sitting on a chair, you can lean on the chair. If you're sitting on a bed, lean on the bed and come on up and over. Let's just do some shoulder circles here. That will also feel nice. Okay, so strength. We're going to talk about strength through the center of our body, what we commonly refer to as our core, but extends into the muscles that support our spine, our abdominals, our pelvic floor, the whole trunk, and stability for the back of our body, or the back chain, sometimes we call it. And then we'll do some shoulder stabilization and a little bit of arm work, but not a lot. We don't have any weights, but we'll use some body weight. Okay, so let's start on our back. We're going to do our hip rolls first, starting with your feet flat on the mat, and just let your body sink into gravity. This will be harder to do on a bed, so it's really helpful to get on something like the floor or a mat, but you can try. It definitely will be a little more challenging if you're on a soft surface. So your feet are flat on the mat, lined up with your hips. Your pelvis is resting. Your shoulders are wide and resting. I want you to just rock on your tailbone a little bit, tip to tail. And you're stretching out that low back and noticing your range of motion, both your legs to your pelvis and in your low back. And you're not using any particular muscle, you're just noticing the range and enjoying the stretch and pull, not doing anything that hurts though. And so then you're going to come back to that neutral pelvis where we have that pelvic lock parallel to the ceiling and the floor. And you're going to push your heels into the mat, curl the tailbone, and peel your hips right up off the mat. You inhale at the top with these long knees. You're reaching your knees long, and then roll right down one vertebra at a time, coming right back to neutral. And then exhale, push the heels down, curl the tailbone, and lift up. Inhale, reach the knees, open the hips, and exhale, roll down. And come back to neutral. So we're moving through the spine. We're connecting our abdominals and our glutes to help stabilize the pelvis as you lift it up. And we're stretching our low back out as we move. So this time you're going to do the same thing. Push your heels down, curl your tailbone, lift up. Your pelvis is lifting here, and you're going to take one leg at a time off the mat. So you're engaging the back of the leg that's stable, and you're lifting through the hips, not the ribs, the hips, to do some marches here. Your glutes turned on, and your leg lifts, and your glutes turned on, and your other leg lifts. And you're trying to minimize the roll of the pelvis. It's not easy, as you can see, but try not to let your ribs pop. Try to keep the emphasis on lifting that pelvis up, and then you'll really feel a nice connection through the glutes and hamstrings. And lift and down. One more, lift and down. Reach your knees and then roll right down. It always feels really nice to let your knees sway side to side after that. So why don't you do that a few times, letting your back rest on the mat. So if your pelvis is tipped a little bit, that's okay. Good. So bring your feet underneath your hips again. We're going to do our ab prep here. And just start with just some chin nods, letting your eyes go down over your knees, and then your eyes lead you up over your head. Eyes lead you down, and eyes lead you up. Eyes lead you down. Eyes lead you up. Eyes lead you down. And eyes lead you up. And then come right back to neutral. Let your eyes lead you down so you have a long back of your neck. Then initiating from your ribs, flex your spine up. You're going to stay in your neutral position, so don't curl your tailbone. You're lifting as high as you can, and then you roll down. Try that a few more times. Nod your chin, inhale. Exhale, close the ribs. Look at the knees. Inhale into the back, and exhale, come down. And nod your chin, curl up. Inhale into the back of your body, that turtle shell. And then exhale, roll down. And one more, nod your chin, curl up. Stay here. Keep your clavicles wide. Keep your abdominals pulling in. Keep pulling up and around. Lift one leg and then the other. And then reach one leg long. And the other leg long, turn them out if you want. We'll do your hundreds. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale. You can bend your knees. You can put your head down, whatever you need to do. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Don't move through neck strain though. And don't let your back arch. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 40. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 50. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 60. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 70. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 80. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 90. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 100. Bend your knees, lie right down, hug your knees in, and rock side to side. So hopefully you feel your abs after that. I do. And from here, what I'd like to do is have you roll onto your belly. So we will start with some upper back strength. In your dart position, your legs will come close to each other. Forehead is on your fingertips. Your shoulders go down your back. Pull your abdominals in, reach your legs long, and lift your upper back up. Inhale and exhale, come down. Just relax. And if you get a cramp like I do and need to stretch your feet or your legs out, you can do that. Your feet can also be hip width apart. And if you don't have the front of your pelvis on the mat because you have tight hips, turn your legs out and let your pelvis really settle into the mat. Because the emphasis is your upper back, and we don't need to take too much strain into the low back. So your legs are together and long, shoulders down your back, abdominals in. And on an exhale, lift up. You're in a dart. Inhale, stay, and exhale, float down. And keep going with that. Shoulders down, abs in, lift up. Inhale, stay, and exhale, float down. One more. Shoulders down, abs in, legs long. Exhale to lift. Inhale to stay, and exhale to come down. And then go ahead and bring your elbows up under your shoulders, and we're going to imagine you're dragging yourself forward a bit. Now, if you have low back pain, this might not be, you might need some help getting yourself set up in a way that's comfortable. But what I want to tell you is that you can put your pelvic lock into your 12 o'clock position, which is a posterior pelvic tilt. And your ASIS, or those hip bones, and your pubic bone may or may not be on the floor right here. If you can pull yourself forward, so I'm really feeling like I'm dragging myself over my mat, and I'm pulling my abdominals up. We're going to do a modified version of this classical exercise. So you're going to reach one leg long and bend your knee without letting your hips dip. So you're going to bend your knee with a long leg and keep the abdominals pulled in and point and flex and send it long. So keep the abs in, don't let anything shift. Try to keep the front of your hip opening as you pull yourself up and over, point, flex and down. Keep your abs in, sternum pulls you forward, point, flex and down. This is a really hard exercise, and you really have to get the oppositional forces in, keeping those abdominals working in the front, keeping the front of your hips open, but it's really great for you. And one more, point, flex, and then come all the way down. I also like to sit back and shell stretch. And then from here, actually I was going to do one more. Let's do one more. I want to do some things for your upper back, just because it's so important for all that we do all day long. And sitting at computers, leaning over sinks, driving cars or phones, all of that. And it's really just so helpful to get your chest open, your shoulders open, and your upper back extensors working. So we're going to do a Swan Prep. So same setup in the lower body, where you are in a little bit of a posterior tilt, which is that 12 o'clock abdominal clock position. And you're really trying to get the front of your hips open. Your legs are long, toes are down, shoulders come down your back. And now I feel like I'm dragging myself forward, and I lift up. Take a breath in here and then come down. It's not about the shape you're making, it's about where you feel the movement. So for me, I'm really stabilizing with my pelvis. Shoulders are going down, and then I'm imagining like a little turtle coming out of its shell as I lengthen and lift my sternum up over the top. You might be able to come up a little higher, or maybe you have to stay a little lower, but really the emphasis is on moving your upper back, your thoracic spine, sort of from just below your shoulder blades up. So you find the shoulders down, legs long, abs connected, lengthen through the crown, and come all the way up, and then come down. Try one more. Shoulders down, crown long, lift up, and then come down. And then sit back and shell stretch. Now my conscience is clear that we've done our upper back extension. And for folks who have osteoporosis or osteopenia, men and women, getting some extension work is really important. And I'll also say that doing flexion of the upper body, you really have to make sure that you have that clear with your doctor if you have osteoporosis. So let's go into our quadruped position. And your head is up on your spine. And let's do a couple of cat stretches first to stretch the back out, especially after all that work we've done. Your shoulders are nice and stable under your hands under your shoulders. Curl the tailbone. And articulate right back. And one more. And then come right back to neutral. And what I'd like you to do here is bring your knees a little closer to each other and let one arm and leg reach away from your center. And it's as if you have a cup of tea here on your low back. Your head is up on your spine, and you're going to let your arm and leg lift up. And then they float to the floor and they come right back into the middle. I'm going to make sure I'm in the screen here. Opposite arm and leg reach. You're going to lift. And your hand and foot come down and come all the way in. And shift. Good. And if you need a break on your wrists, you can sit back or you could sit into a shell stretch. And if you can, come on back up. Bring your legs right next to each other. We'll do some plank props. Feel the reciprocal force down through the arms. And so you're pushing the bones down, but you're lifting the skin of your arms up. So push down and lift up at the same time so you're nice and stable through that kinetic chain. Curl both toes under, squeeze your thighs together, lift your knees off an inch, and hover and breathe. And then let your knees come down, uncurl, and curl your toes under and push down to lift up. Inhale. And exhale, come down. 2 more. You can keep your toes curled under if you're comfortable, but if you're getting a cramp, you can move them around in between if you need to. Squeeze your thighs together. Pull that low belly in. Hover, not too high with the knees, and come down. And 1 more. Stay there. If you can, you're going to take 1 foot off. Don't let your hip shift. And then the other foot off. Don't let your hip shift. First foot comes off. Second leg comes off. Take a breath in. Let your knees come down. And you deserve a shell stretch after that. So remember, shell stretch is where you hollow the belly a little bit. So you're actively pulling your tailbone to your heels. Yep. And then we have 1 more series, and it's a little bit of our side leg series. So, and then we'll end with some push-ups. So come up to the middle of your mat. Looks like I have a cord sticking out. The middle of your mat. Your hips are over your knees, so you're not sitting back. You're sitting up as much as you can. And your glutes are turned on. You're really lifted through the pelvis, lifted through the waist, and you have ease in your shoulders. Bring 1 foot out to the side and 1 arm out to the side. And you're going to come to a side, kind of a planky-like position. And your leg's going to come up. And you're hovering at hip height. So you're pushing away from the floor, keeping your abdominals in. You can have a hand at your forehead or up to the sky. Try to keep this gesture leg parallel to the floor. And let's actually keep our hand here, just so it's in the picture. Inhale, inhale, and exhale, point to the back. And you inhale, inhale, and exhale. Keep your abdominals pulling in. Inhale, inhale, exhale. And inhale, inhale, exhale, point to the back, push, and come all the way up. And then float to the other side. And you're going to reach out, hand at the forehead, lift up, parallel, push away from that floor through the hand and the knee. And you're going to inhale, inhale, exhale, push back. And inhale, inhale, exhale, push back. And inhale, inhale, exhale, push back. And 1 more. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Point to the back. Keep everything strong. See if you can float yourself all the way back up. Good. Come on down. You can either sit on your heels or you can sit, tailor sit. Sit any way that's comfortable. Let's take both arms up to the sky. Inhale. And exhale down. And inhale. And exhale down. Let your eyes go two. Two more. Inhale. Lift your belly, lift your waist, lift your sternum, and exhale down. Last one. Inhale. And exhale down. Good. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this class. It was a brief one, but we've got a lot of different pieces of our strength training in for today. And this will conclude our Pilates Basics series. But certainly if you have questions or you have anything else you'd like to see from us, please let us know. I hope you have a good day.